Okay, sir, you are the CEO of one of the biggest capital groups in Poland, so you're responsible for its strategy, and probably the topics of strategy are addressed by you every day. So my first question is, we are talking about cybersecurity, opportunities for business. From your point of view, should companies not based in IT should invest in cybersecurity, and why? What are the advantages you see?
Well, definitely we have to invest in cybersecurity. In a certain way, we all have to. And for different reasons. Obviously, one part is that the PZU group, of which PZU Live is a part, and as our main CEO, Michał Krupiński, yesterday pointed out, we owe it to our clients to be able to tell them that we are protecting their data. And obviously, as an insurance company, everything is about trust and everything is about protection. So if we are not able to protect the private information of our customers, if we're not able to protect our own business model, our own models and actuary themes, then we're not doing a good job as a company. So obviously, cyber attacks, phishing and stealing of information is a threat that we need to be prepared for, and we need to be aware of what is the newest threat that are out there and what we can do. So that's definitely the first point. Second point is that cyber attacks are obviously a bigger part of the entire economy changing and the fourth industrial revolution everybody's talking about. And obviously cyber attacks are strongly linked to the fact that everything is becoming digital. That leads also to a big change in our business model. And a lot of things are being said about how the insurance sector can be disrupted by the fourth industrial evolution. A good example are self-driving cars. If you have self-driving cars, then probably the motor insurance business is going to change completely, as people will no longer be in the need of insuring themselves against car accidents. So an insurance company like ours needs to think about what are going to be the risks that people will want to be insured against in the future. And such a risk definitely is cyber attacks. So we are currently very strongly working and analyzing what would be the best approach for us as an insurance company to be present in the field of cyber insurance. And the third part is our investment arm, for which I am responsible, where we are a strong player participating in that. Poland becomes a more innovative economy. We are one of the biggest stakeholders of Polish equity. We're the biggest single investor in the Central East European Europe. So we have to think about how to invest in technology that will bring our part of Europe forward. And we believe that cybersecurity can be one of those niches where Poland can excel. And through our Vitello fund, through which we try to get the best venture capitalist investors to Poland, we try to make this one of the themes of trying to foster innovation around this theme in Poland, which is one of the reasons why we are a partner of CYBERSEC and why we have decided to bring together here on CyberSec 2016 investors and startups and participate in that exchange, hoping that something very concrete will come out of it.
Okay, so you already mentioned Vitel, and yeah, we are talking a lot about public-private partnership here at the CyberSec Forum, which is connected with the European Commission projects backed with 1.6 billion euros. The Polish government is focusing a lot on cooperation between the national champions and startups. How do you find this? What exactly startups need to get from the government and big champions besides the capital to be able to create services, products, and in cybersecurity?
You know, it's an interesting question because yesterday I asked the same question. I was hosting a panel on investment in cybersecurity, and I asked the question: are startups and venture capital really the best way to do it? Are they the best way to drive innovation and investment in cybersecurity theme? And the answer that I got from different panelists was pretty much the same, is that you need both. You need actually three of them. You need strong investment from the public sector, and obviously cybersecurity is first and foremost a national domain. Second of all, you need big developed corporates that need to protect our data like ours to invest in their own security and to make sure that their IT departments are up to scale. But third, you need those more nimble, more lean, more quicker startups and innovative companies that are there to, in a certain way, address and react quicker to all the threats that are out there. And obviously, a more developed company like a big bank cannot be running after all the latest threats that are out there, not knowing which is exactly going to be the most disruptive for its business. So smaller companies have an edge, and obviously with the whole venture capital scene out there and with the capital being there, this is also a way to get people to invest and innovate and in a certain way win the race against the cyber attackers and terrorists for innovation. So I think startups are a big part of the picture. As we have said yesterday, cybersecurity is not a field like, for example, consumer products, which are very easy for startups to work in, because it's a regulated business, because governments play a big role, because they are the single biggest client in this field. So obviously the cooperation with the government has to be there from the start. Governments need to be very transparent into what it is that they want to invest to, how they want to make startups part of the jigsaw. And obviously you need the entire ecosystem that needs to be in place. You need to have the universities that make cybersecurity and IT a big theme already with the students. You need to have the institutions that help around it, and you need investors like ours who from a very early stage on are able to provide these companies with capital.
Yeah, so it seems we need a balance between the regulations and the agile attitude which the startups represent. So probably that's going to be one of the discussions and angles of creating this ecosystem. And the last question is about education. As we see, the cybersecurity is becoming one of the top priorities for most boards of companies. And the other angle is that we observe a great shortage of cybersecurity professionals. How do you find this challenge in your own company? Is it hard to find cybersecurity professionals? And what would be your strategy to fill the skills gap?
You know, when it comes down to this part, I have an anecdote that I shared with the panelists yesterday. In one of my prior companies that I worked with, which was an industrial group, we had an IT director who was very desperate to get management attention for cybersecurity and getting management to invest more in protecting the cybersecurity of the company. And his strategy was simply that on a weekend when everybody was, on a trip together, he simply hacked the computers of the managers.
Oh my God.
While we were all in the same hotel, and got data out of our notebooks and then showed it to us and say, guys, see how easy it is, right? And this is a very good way to show to people, you know, how real it is and how simple it is to get data. But more seriously, I think that this is also part that startups play when it comes down to motivate young people to be active in that field. Is when you are able to create success stories when young talented academics based on a single idea are able to build billion-dollar companies and sell them to either float them on the public markets or sell them to one of the big corporates, then obviously you create an incentive, and this incentive will motivate the right people to go that way. And obviously there is so much money in cybersecurity out there that it needs to create a demand, and we have already seen it in the United States. This concrete demand by corporates has translated into billions of venture capital money being invested, and we believe in Europe this should be also the case.
Okay, thank you very much for this insightful conversation. We'll continue during the panel, and we hope to see you next year and continue discussion about the achievements of this program you just released.
Looking
Thank you
forward
very
to it.
much.
Thank you very much.